The story of the Bodhi tree and the birth of Bodhi yarn. Long before words were written, before temples rose or paths were named, there stood a tree. It grew quietly on the plains of ancient India, its roots reaching deep into the earth, its leaves trembling gently in the warm wind. This was the Bodhi tree, a fig tree unlike any other. To many, it was simply a place of shade. To history, it would become a turning point for humanity. More than 2,500 years ago, a seeker named Siddhartha Gautama sat beneath this tree. He had renounced wealth, comfort, and power in search of truth. As the sun set and the stars emerged, he vowed not to rise until he understood the nature of suffering and the path beyond it. Through the long night, he faced fear, doubt, and illusion, but the tree stood steady, sheltering him in silence. As dawn broke, clarity arose. Siddhartha awakened to compassion, wisdom, and balance. He became the Buddha, the awakened one. From that moment on, the Bodhi tree was no longer just a tree. It became a symbol of enlightenment, protection, healing, and spiritual growth. Over centuries, its descendants spread across the world. Pilgrims gathered its fallen leaves, monks meditated beneath its branches, and stories were passed from generation to generation. The Bodhi tree came to represent not just awakening, but connection between earth and spirit, body and soul, intention and creation. And it was from this ancient connection that Bodhi yarn was born. In a modern world that moves quickly and forgets the sacred, a small group of artisans and spiritual practitioners asked a simple question: what if we could weave intention back into the things we touch every day? They began with natural fibers, wool for warmth and grounding, silk for flow and light. Wool carried the strength of the earth, offering comfort and protection. Silk added elegance and movement, reflecting the subtle energies that flow through all living things. But something was still missing. So they turned back to the source. Using ethically gathered strands inspired by the Bodhi tree, never harming the tree itself, they infused the yarn with ritual, meditation, and intention. Each batch was created slowly, with care, aligned to a purpose: prosperity, love, healing, protection, or spiritual growth. The process was as important as the material. Hands worked with focus. Breath stayed steady. The intention was clear. This was not just yarn. This was energy made tangible. Bodhi yarn carries the philosophy of the tree beneath which awakening occurred. The transformation happens not through force, but through presence. Every strand is a reminder that creation can be mindful, that what we make with our hands can reflect what we hold in our hearts. When someone knits with Bodhi yarn, they are not just creating a garment or object. They are participating in a lineage, one that stretches back thousands of years. Each stitch becomes a quiet meditation. Each finished piece carries warmth, meaning, and intention into the world. A shawl becomes a shield of comfort. A scarf becomes a symbol of love. A woven piece becomes a prayer without words. Just as the Bodhi tree once sheltered a seeker on his path to awakening, Bodhi yarn is meant to shelter those who wear and use it, offering grounding in uncertain times, beauty in simplicity, and a reminder that true abundance begins within. The tree still stands in many forms across many lands, and now its story continues, not only in temples and texts, but in the gentle rhythm of needles, looms, and hands that create with purpose. From root to branch, from fiber to form, from intention to creation. This is the story of the Bodhi tree, And this is the living thread of Bodhi yarn.